of communication of what I did and what I lived, of the instructions of the meditation of of the disclosure and the event of humans of living of harms of electronic artificial machine stimulations of bodiless movements and like sensations, and of humans of at Mars and at planet of Venus, and of gravity and orbited of other matter of plasma of star soul of other than of Earth. And of the instructions was, I lived of the first instruction of words of use your own technique to bring you to a relaxed state of consciousness. Of I was of action of I put my hand to my wrist and felt the pulse of my heart. And I began to only breathe, inhale, and breathe, exhale, of moments of I was a sensation of touch of the pulse of my heart. And I was only of blinking, or blinks, of moment of I was a sensation of touch of my heart, of pulse of my heart. Since I've been doing this exercise so often of only breathing in and breathing out, exhaling and inhaling of air so I'm of air and of me of lungs, of sense of and of me of timing of my blinks. Since I was learning that I am of body muscle movements caused of electronic artificial machine stimulations, so food and or water and or shelter, and of moments of other than of electronic artificial machine stimulations of body muscle movements, so I'm of other than of food and or water and or shelter. Though there's many people of nation whom are causing of so of human of living of other than of harm of electronic artificial machine stimulations of body muscle movements and like sensations. So I was sure many months ago, and a month earlier than now, and of moments of I was of the first instruction of I was doing something that I've been doing and I'm of doing, so of living of I'm sure when and what to do, so I'm breathing and of blinks of so other than of electronic artificial machine stimulations of body muscle movements, so I'm of the blink and breathing. And I lived of the technique of putting my hand to my wrist, so a feeling of my pulse, and only breathing and only a blink of moments of I was a sensation of touch of a beat of my heart, of pulse of my heart, of a few moments while I was sure if I just did it for a few minutes that so my natural self, the self of body, that of only of the electricity of my body and not of the electricity created of electronic artificial machine stimulations of body muscle movements and like sensations, sense of electricity created of my body, a sense of tiny metals size smaller than animal cells of moved back and forth under side to side, sense of energies at and on and pushing the tiny metals in of my body, sense of the tiny sense of the energies at and on and of other than distances of the tiny metals, sense of scent of machines of distance of kilometers and miles of me. And once I was relaxed, and I was of the first instruction of so much, I was of assurance of an obviousness of I was of the first instruction of words of use your own technique to bring you to a relaxed state of consciousness. So I was of I was of a thinkness and a like thinkness and a thoughtness and a like thoughtness of and a willingness. So of number 2 of instructions of words of state your intent to use this meditation as a tool to speed up the process towards the disclosure and the event. And my intent, or I was of intent of, I was sure that since I'm of living of electronic artificial machine simulations, the body muscle movements and are like, so I was of living of like sensations caused of electronic artificial machine simulations, since of the brain is connected to so many parts of the body. So once body muscle movements are caused of electronic artificial machine stimulation, so of a sureness is like sensation of touch is caused, and or other like sensations caused of electronic artificial machine stimulations. Since so many humans are living of like sensations caused of electronic artificial machine stimulations, since they're living of body muscle movements caused of electronic artificial machine stimulation, so food and or water and or shelter. So I was sure that if I was of a thinkness and or thoughtness and or like thinkness and or like thoughtness of electronic artificial machine stimulations of like sensation of hearing, as if for like the like sensation of hearing caused of electronic artificial machine stimulation is a thoughtness and or thinkness and or like thoughtness and or like thinkness. So I was sure that since so many people are doing it at one time, and since so many people are of it, so that there's a data to people whom are of the government and or people whom are of Mars or Venus or other matter or gravity and orbital plasma or star of soul, whom are getting datas of human of distances under other than distance of human and or matter of other than of human, so of a sure of what's going to happen or what is happening or what happened. So they're sure that they'll live of moments of so many humans are of nation, and so many humans are living of harms of electronic artificial machine simulations of body muscle movements and like sensations, and moments of humans of the legislature and of humans of executiveness of government, of living of other than of communication of words of harms of electronic artificial machine stimulations of body muscle movements and like sensations, so of legislaturing and of causing of, so of human of distances under other than of distance of other human sense of sensation and sense of a human of words. And so I was of intent of, or of a tryness of, I wanted to simply do of body muscle movements that I wouldn't necessarily live, or rather I would be of other than of living of a like sensation of hearing, as if for like of thinkness or thoughtness. Though I was sure that it was something that was happening to many other people, and probably an assuredness of to me of a moment I'm of living of a like sensation of caused of electronic artificial machine stimulation, and so that I would be putting of my hand to the text that I have of an electronic artificial machine near me, of the instructions, and that I would put my finger to the text as if for like I was of readingness of it, even though I was sure that the like sensation of hearing was a like thoughtness and like thinkness rather than of an obviousness of a thinkness and a thoughtness of sense of only the electricity of me of body, and of moments of other than of electronic artificial machine simulations of body muscle movements and like sensations, so of other than of the like thinkness and like thoughtness of the electronic artificial machine simulation of like sensation of hearing. And so since I would be of other than of an obviousness of, so of electronic artificial machine simulation of like sensation of hearing, of moments of I was sitting down and of the technique of relaxed stateness of consciousness of I was only of blinks and of breathing of moments of I was a sensation of touch of pulse of my heart. So I was sure that I was doing something that there was moments that there wasn't necessarily of a body muscle movement in me caused of electronic artificial machine stimulation, and I thought that it was much of a quickness and a fastness of speeding up the process towards the disclosure of events, since it's less data to be of, and so less work for the people whom of agreement of words and live of agreement of words of governmenting, so causing of human of living of other than of harm of electronic artificial machine stimulations of body muscle movements and like sensations. And so of that, of number 2, of words of state your intent to use this meditation as a tool to speed up the process towards the disclosure in the event. So I was of a thinkness and a like thinkness, and there was a moment of I was living of a body muscle movement, whether or not it was caused of electronic artificial machine stimulation, though I think the timing was, since I was just doing the regular exercise of only blink and only breathing of moments of sensation, of touch, of pulse of my heart,